Now let's cut across this Tuesday morning to all the updates you need to know in the Kerala gold scam. The Swapna Suresh, in fact, has spoken out again, claiming that there are repeated attempts to threaten her and to, in fact, to try and coerce her from withdrawing her case. Swapna Suresh has alleged that the state police is trying to hinder the ED probe in the gold scam case. Let's take this across now to Swapna Suresh. She's joining us exclusively live here on India Today this morning. Ms. Swapna Suresh, good morning. You've now levelled a fresh allegation that there are attempts to threaten you, to force you to withdraw the case against Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Take us through these latest threat calls that you say you've received.
Well, I've been receiving threat calls right from the beginning, but it was always using the net. So this time it was a call revealing the name, father's name, the address, and saying that I should withdraw or else they would finish me at once. I should stop talking about the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. KT Jaleel, the then Minister, then his wife, Kamala, and Miss Veena, that is the Chief Minister's daughter. So this was like a fresh call, and he also mentioned that one of the goons of a famous goon of Kerala, Mr. Murad Anish, he is being given this deal to deal with, or this case to deal with though, and he has told this gentleman to call me and threaten me verbally for once, so that I may get scared and stop or withdraw my case or withdraw my statement under section 164. So this time it was pretty serious, because he's actually revealing his genuine details. So, you know, I definitely wrote to the Directorate of Police, Director General of Police, and I wrote to the Enforcement Directorate as well, by an email, because I understood that, you know, they are trying to hinder the investigation, the continuous interrogation that's been happening at the ED, because, you know, a conspiracy case has been charged against me, which I think majority of the people in this world knows that it is basically a fake case. You know, in the middle of the night, they charge a bailable offense. And then one lady, Miss Sarita Nair, who is also having a criminal background, she gave some confession statement who is no way related to this case whatsoever. She was also convicted for a solar scam. So that lady, based on her confession statements, who's not related to this case by hook or crook or corner or point or anything, based on her confession statements, they make this another day, you know, all of a sudden a non-bailable offense by adding more sections to it. And then they, you know, disturb or harass the domestic help, the office, HRD's office, everyone. They question everyone. So I know there's not much time, but, you know, they've been harassing, and simultaneously they gave me a summons knowing that I am being interrogated at the Enforcement Directorate. So they actually come and serve the summons in the ED office, so to know what is actually happening there. So I'm just one person. How will I go and appear before the ED to cooperate with them? Because that's little more important for me, because that's based on the further investigation is initiated based on my 164 statement. So there's a question of credibility, because I have revealed a lot of facts.
Ms. Swapna Suresh, just my apologies for intervening, but I have a question also on this front, on the investigation. You're saying that there's a clear attempt to influence the probe, to kind of put pressure on you. This is being investigated by a central agency now, as you mentioned, by the Enforcement Directorate. And that's something that the Chief Minister's highlighted. He's saying, if I have something to hide, why will I go ahead and say that the central agency should step in here?
He did not bring the Enforcement Directorate for that matter. He actually brought who? The National Investigating Agency, to accuse me as or charge me against terrorist law or whatever. He just brought in NIA, and who are the officers or the officials there who was doing the investigation. The investigation was done by Kerala Police Cadet, deputed for NIA. And Shiv Shankar, sir, he being his secretary is an accused in all the cases, customs, enforcement, everywhere, which is related to the gold scam. But he is not an accused in NIA. The investigation stopped. Whenever I respond to NIA's interrogation, I keep telling them all the facts, but they say, we are not bothered about the smuggling activity. We are just bothered about the terrorist side of it. So why are they couldn't get any evidence against terrorism. So who brought NIA? NIA was brought by the Honorable Chief Minister because he has probably control with the officials. I am not, I am an accused, so I would not like to talk about an agency. I respect the agency, I respect the officials, I respect everyone. But Honorable Chief Minister did not bring Enforcement Directorate into it.
Let's talk about these, threat calls that you claimed you've received, and the latest one that you put out, Ms. Swapna Suresh. There are names clearly being mentioned, that of Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, of Mr. KT Jaleel as well. There's a conspiracy case that's now been filed against you over all of these claims that you've made of threats that you've received. What do you have to say about that, about how the government has responded to this claim of yours?
Well, I do not know how the government has been reacting to it, but the police actually registered an FIR on this gentleman, and they came out with a new story that this gentleman is mentally abnormal or he is under treatment. A mentally abnormal person may not, I think, to our common knowledge, it's basically he would not be aware of the current affairs. He will not be interested in the Chief Minister. Okay, even if he's aware of the Chief Minister because he's, the Chief Minister, the name is everywhere, the flex is everywhere, the photo is everywhere. But what about the wife? What about his daughter? So this gentleman is revealing all his details, his own details, very genuinely. He's telling, he's also mentioning about a goon who has told him to deal with this, and he's talking about the issue with clarity. The communication is clear. So now the police says, or the government or everybody says that this gentleman is not mentally normal.
Okay.
So they can, come up with so many solutions. But any which way, they took my statement, my son's statement yesterday at the police club in Ernakulam, Kochi, and they said they have registered 2 FIRs. One because I had written to the enforcement also, so they were forced to take action immediately. And one because I had written to the DGP of Kerala. So now they have actually arranged protection or surveillance. Okay. They've provided 2 policemen outside my residence. So let's see where it goes. And today I am actually appearing before the crime branch for the case, for the conspiracy case that has been charged against me. And I do not know because it was a bailable offense, and then, based on somebody's, a third party's confession statements, it's a non-bailable offense. Now I do not know when I go there what drama is going to happen and whether they would arrest me or not.
With all that's happened, Ms. Swapna Suresh, and these latest threat calls that you say you've received, you've made it very clear that you believe there's a threat to your life. Are you satisfied with the kind of response there's been and the kind of security that you've been given since?
I am not, because the police department or the entire police system is headed by the Honorable Chief Minister. So I would definitely not be satisfied because the police may not do anything. They would be saying that they were on duty, but anything can happen to me anytime, to my family, to my son, anything can happen anytime. And the police would say they just slept off, or because I'm staying in a house where there is no CCTV, and I need to now fix a CCTV system into this house. And as you know, I don't know whether you are aware, a bomb, drama happened at the AKG center at Thiruvananthapuram. So it's supposed to be the most secure place. So if somebody could do that, and the police did not know, the government did not know, and they could not identify the person behind it all this while, me, a common woman, how will I be safe? So I have not. I have asked the Honorable Court to give me protection from the central forces or central government. It's
Okay.
still pending. So let's see. But at the moment, I'm staying in a rented house. So I do not want somebody to come and destroy this house or give any harm to the owners of this house. And moreover, the public should also know that there
Okay.
is serious threat, and it is not just an allegation. There is serious threat to my life. Anything can happen anytime. It could either be from some goon, or it could either be from some system like crime branch or anybody.
Okay.
I do not know in which way it's going to come, but something is waiting at the door for me, which is not so good.
And you've made it very, very clear, Ms. Swapna Suresh, that no matter what kind of threats come your way, you're going to stand steadfast as far as your case is concerned. You're not going to withdraw any of those charges against Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Thank you very much for joining us this morning here on India Today. Ms. Swapna Suresh speaking to us here on India Today about the kind of threats that she's been receiving over the last few weeks. She claims there are attempts to pressurize her, to coerce her into withdrawing the case that she's filed against Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan.